Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. It's Snow, and today we're going to be talking about getting straight A's for your September exams. Now, first and foremost, the most important thing you need to do is to set your goals. What do you want to achieve towards the end of the trial exams? Do you want to get 90% all subjects? Do you want to get 70? Do you want to get your 80s? What exactly do you want to achieve? And when you know what you are going to achieve, the second step is to know what can I do to achieve that. To get my maximum distinctions, should I be studying every day? Should I go for study groups? Like, what can I do to furthermore help me achieve this goal? All of those things, I would suggest that you write your timetable down. As I said previously in my Get Straight A's for your March exam, please check that video out. I'll link it down in the description below. Make your timetable, and the timetable will help you to know what to study for each and every day that you are going to write. Secondly, I'd advise you to go for study groups because they are very important at this stage. At this stage, you should be knowing all of your work, but you need to sit down with the people and discuss whether you know your work correctly and figure out the things that you are missing out or the things that you are confused about. Sometimes you may think that something you know it's correct, but when you sit down with somebody else, you actually get a different view, and you know where your wrongs are. It is important for you to focus on your trial exams as they are a cornerstone or give you a picture of what your final exams will look like. Now, although they may be quite easy compared to the final exams, it is important that you study for them and as well as the final exams, because you don't know which questions might come up for your final exams. So get as much practice as you can. I'd advise for you to go to your November exams, your June, your trial exams, past papers, and those supplementary as well. Supplementary have very good tricky questions that you can acquire knowledge using. So I'd advise for you to look at those papers when studying, for you to perform well these trial exams, because now, from going for third term to fourth term, you are no longer a student. You are a candidate that is at risk of not getting maximum distinctions. Please repeat this with me and instill it in your head. You are no longer a student. You are a candidate that is at risk of not getting maximum distinctions. Remember that you need to work hard, because you are not competing with just people that are doing matric. You are competing with everyone who wants to get in the desired course that you want to get in. Pointer that I'd want to talk about today, which is goal setting. You need to first think of yourself. What do you want to achieve towards the end of the year, and what do you want to achieve towards the end of the semester? How late is it for you to achieve this? Meaning, what effort will you need to put to achieve this goal that you want to achieve? Let's say, for an example, I want to get 80% for accounting. Now, I know that first term and second term, all I got was my 50%. My goal is to get 80%. What must I do to achieve this 80%? I need to study accounting almost every day, or I need to spend most of my time in topics that I do not understand so I can acquire that knowledge for my trial exams. What do I need to do? Maybe I should join study groups. Study groups helps, guys, for you to even if sometimes it helps for you to compare your work with someone. Even if you think you know the work, there might be some aspects that you are not grasping well, or you're grasping incorrectly, and for you to join a study group, it helps you understand what you are doing wrong. So I'd advise at this time for you all to join study groups. The second thing that I will look at is your time management. How are you managing your time? Obviously, now for trials, it's only a matter of few weeks for you guys to study, just to wrap up the topics that you haven't done, and for you to do revision. Some schools are even doing revision at this stage and have dealt with all the work during the course of the holidays. So you have a lot of time for you to catch up on your work from term 1 and term 2 and the acquired work from term 3. So you need to at this point, you don't need to be using your phone like that. You need to be using your phone for important things. You can maybe have an hour with your phone when you come back after school, an hour or two. Then after that, it's for you to take your phone to your parents, or switch it off if you can control yourself enough to switch your phone off for the rest of the night. Leave your phone with you. But if you cannot, and you know that you're someone who likes chatting and using the phone, I suggest that you take it to your parents and leave it there just for you to study every time that you come back from school. Now, in order for you to know your learning style, I advise you to please go and look at the VARK link, which is a questionnaire, a short questionnaire that basically summarizes and has different scenarios for how you would approach a certain situation. And towards the end, it gives you the results of what type of a learner are you. The first learning style we'll talk about is a visual person. A visual person wants the whole picture and idea of a thing and is more holistic in the approach. A visual person strategies should include a person who likes to draw mind maps, who likes highlighting their work, a person who likes doing flow charts. A person who does that is a visual learner. The second learner we will talk about is an oral person. An oral person does not enjoy reading books, but something that is spoken to that person, or when someone talks to that person, even if it's a study group where someone tells the person, "Well, see, I've learned that in biology there's 1, 2, and 3, there's so and so." That's a best way that an oral learner can learn. Strategies that an oral learner should use include attending lectures and tutorials, and even going for extra tuition. As I've mentioned, attending study groups, also watching or listening to YouTube videos that teach, because that is the way that an oral learner learns. The third learning style that I will talk about is a read and write person. Now, a read and write person learns best by making their own notes, making lists, using handouts, and reading from textbooks. Those are the strategies that a read and write person learns best at. The fourth learning style that I will talk about is the kinesiology learning style, or kinesthetic. It's basically a person who likes to learn by doing things or approaching things themselves. That would include a person who likes to learn using past papers. It can be that even before the person studies, the person will do a past paper just to see what the person knows and doesn't know. Then after that, we'll learn that, and after that again we'll do another past paper. Another way a person can improve this learning style is by making sure that they attend any practical demonstrations that may be around. I know that in matric there is quite a few, not much, but when you go for plays, a kinesiology person can learn that way. Well, in chemistry, if you're doing any practical demonstrations, and also for assignments, fine fact is that assignments are a way for you to study, by them giving you maybe a scenario for you to do, but that is in context with that work. You find that a kinesiology person actually performs better in assignments. So when a kinesiology person is learning, she should take that into account. The fourth learning style that I will talk about is a multimodal person. Now, a multimodal person can learn using three different of these learning styles that I have mentioned. You can maybe do like learning visual, oral, kinesiology, or oral, visual, read and write. Most people are mixed modal, and because they just feel insecure with only studying using one learning style, because to them it then feels like they didn't study. So mixing or doing the multimodal learning is the way for them to go. Another thing that I will talk about is that you need to have a study skill. Now, what is a study skill? A study skill is a method that you use to study your work. Not the CPF method. A CPF method is not a learning skill because it hinders you, and you shouldn't be doing that at this point in time. The first learning skill that I will talk about today is the preparation. Preparation involves cleaning your study area, having your books organized, your highlighters, anything that you might need to study, and be in a quiet place. The second part of Puma is your understanding. Now, you can't just study work that you don't understand. So, it is important for you to read through your work, go ask a lecturer or a tutor or a teacher in this case of work that you do not understand, and understand the work first before you even start memorizing it. The third and very important step is your memorization because it includes three um subtopics to that. The first subtopic under your memorization is for you to first connect your information. Okay, I have learned it about companies. What do companies involve? Companies involve dividends because they are shareholders, certain things like that. Then the second step is for you to sleep on it. Sleep on everything that you have connected. This helps in everyday. This task is not only for studying, but I also feel like it helps you in life because if you connect things, you can even use that in the workplace and it will work for you. And you sleep on decisions before you even make them. So for you to say, I have studied today, I have studied companies today, I know everything on companies, and you sleep and you don't wake up and then memorize again and try to remember, "Ukuthi, did I study and did everything that I studied the day before enter my brain system?" Remember, now the brain needs to be trained. You can't learn one thing one time and expect for it to get in your mind. You need to keep training your brain until it is instilled in your brain. The third information under the memorization technique is the memory palace technique. This technique is a simple technique that is used everywhere, which just allows you to memorize again. Okay, where did I see this certain type of information about companies? Where did I see this type of information about number equations? Where did I see this type of information about Newton's laws? And connect again, try to memorize the work. The fourth and final step of the Puma method is for you to apply it. Now, application may involve doing self-test, timing yourself, because now that it is September, you need to just pretend as if you're gonna write an exam when you're up doing your application step. Have your timer ready and write the exam. When the timer stops, you stop also because you are training yourself to work under test times if you are a slow person. And mark your work to see what you did wrong. Don't give yourself extra marks because remember, during the final exams, you will be marked by people who don't know you. So you need to be fair and pretend as if you are a person at the marking center when you are marking for yourself. Now, for the second study method that I have found, I do not use it, but it's quite lengthy, so I'm just going to read it through for you to understand it. It's called the Aspire method. The Aspire method consists of the approach, attitude, and or arrange. It means approach your studies with a positive attitude. Arrange your schedule to eliminate distractions. The second step is select, survey, scan. Select a reasonable chunk of material to study. Survey headings, graphics, and post questions and get an overview. Scan for a text and keywords and vocabulary which you do not understand. The fourth step is piece together the parts. Put aside all your books and notes and piece together what you have studied without referring to your work. The fourth step is investigate, inquire, inspect. Investigate alternative sources of information that you can refer to. Inquire from support professionals, academic supports, librarians, tutors, and teachers, and other resources for assistance. Inspect what you did not understand. The fourth step is re-examine, reflect, and relay. Re-examine. What question did I do? Am I missing something? Reflect. How can I apply this to my project? How can I apply it to my test? Relay. Can I explain this to my fellow students? The fourth step is evaluate, examine, and explore. Evaluate your grades and tasks. Like for every past paper that you do, what mark did you get? How can you get to achieve a greater mark? Examine your progress. Am I progressing if I keep on doing past papers? Are my marks increasing every time I do another past paper, or am I still staying in the same place? Meaning I still know like 50% or 60% of my work, when I should be knowing 70, 80, and most importantly, 90% of my work. Explore options with a teacher, support, and a professional tutor in case you just still know 60% of your work, because now it is too late for you to be knowing 60% of your work. You should know 90% of the work. I love this quote that says, aim for the sky. So when you fall on the moon and not on the ground. Because if you aim to get 100% at a test, you guaranteed to get 90 and 80% because you're leaving no room for failure. But if you say, I want to get 70%, and then you study 70% of the work, a question might arise that will surprise you because it is questioned in a different way that needs critical thinking and critical understanding. And that is important for you to know. So it is important for you to just know 100% of your.
I do it for the little girl up in Peter Marisburg, straight from the slums deep down in Mlaz. Bank when I was good now.